signaling a potential major shift in policy ahead of his first address to Congress, told television news anchors on Tuesday that he is open to a broad immigration overhaul that would grant legal status to millions of undocumented immigrants who have not committed serious crimes. The time is right for an immigration bill as long as there is compromise on both sides, the president told the TV anchors at the White House, according to people present during the discussion. Those present requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak about the private meeting. The idea is a sharp break from the broad crackdown on immigrants in the country illegally that Mr. Trump ordered in his first weeks in office and the hardline positions embraced by his core supporters that helped sweep him into the White House. The president hinted at the reversal just hours before he arrived on Capitol Hill to deliver his address to a joint session of Congress. A move toward a comprehensive immigration overhaul would be a dramatic turnaround for the president, whose campaign rallies rang with shouts of, "Build the wall," on the Mexican border and who signed an executive order in January directing the deportation of any unauthorized immigrants who have committed a crime whether or not they have been charged or convicted or falsified a document. The standard could apply to virtually any one of the estimated 11 million people in the country illegally. But the president did plan to use the speech to frame his policies, including his strict approach on immigration enforcement. By finally enforcing our immigration laws, we will raise wages, help the unemployed, save billions of dollars, and make our communities safer for everyone, Mr. Trump planned to say, according to excerpts from his remarks provided by the White House. In his potential shift, Mr. Trump went so far on Tuesday as to raise the idea of granting citizenship to young undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as children, one person present said. Such a change would go well beyond the temporary work permits President Barack Obama offered them through a 2012 executive order. During his campaign, Mr. Trump criticized Mr. Obama's directive as an illegal amnesty, and promised he would immediately end the program if elected. But he has delayed acting on the matter since taking office and expressed sympathy for its beneficiaries, sometimes known as Dreamers. The White House did not dispute Mr. Trump's remarks to the television anchors, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the deputy press secretary, said she had not witnessed the conversation so was unable to confirm it. The president has been very clear in his process that the immigration system is broken and needs massive reform, and he's made clear that he's open to having conversations about that moving forward, Ms. Sanders said. Right now, his primary focus, as he has made over and over again, is border control and security at the border and deporting criminals from our country, and keeping our country safe, and those priorities have not changed. The president's remarks about immigration came the day before Mr. Trump was to issue a new version of his executive order banning travel to the United States from 7 predominantly Muslim countries and suspending the acceptance of refugees. The ban has been revised because of legal challenges. Mr. Trump, appearing in the well of the House, was to defend his record of the past tumultuous 39 days and lay out his priorities for the coming weeks and months. The address to lawmakers was expected to be short on specifics and laden with the populist themes that powered Mr. Trump's campaign. Mr. Trump has yet to propose major legislation to achieve his goals, with members of his cabinet and senior staff divided over key elements of tax and health care plans and congressional Republicans split on how to structure them. By this point in his presidency, Mr. Obama had established an active if not always friendly working relationship with a Democratic-led Congress, having signed into law a $787 billion package of spending and tax cuts intended to stabilize the economy. Mr. Trump is expected to speak mostly in generalities about shared priorities, including pouring substantial new funding into the military, reducing the size of social programs, cutting taxes and regulations, and replacing Mr. Obama's health care law with what Mr. Trump has said will be a cheaper and more effective alternative. He is not expected to speak at length about his plans for Social Security and Medicare, which he has pledged not to cut, or how he will tackle the nation's deficit without touching the entitlement programs that are the primary drivers of it. Democrats said Mr. Trump was making grandiose promises without laying out specific steps for achieving them, and doubling down on steps they argued had harmed Americans since he took office.